Oh, it's time for a good old rant. And
we're making one of these.
So you're looking at building yourself a vlogging helmet and you want to know which action camera and which Bluetooth system is going to be the best thing to buy. I understand that. I was in the same situation and I spent many days just losing my mind over specs and reading stuff, working out how these things worked, and there's no real clear information online, and that's for good reason. I'm going to cover all of that today to hopefully enable you to make the best decision possible on your vlog helmet build. So my requirements were, I wanted the best quality I could possibly have. Stabilization was kind of a nice thing to have. Most action cameras have them nowadays, and the three I'm going to mention are the top of the range ones, which do have stabilization on all of them. But all in all, I'm looking at the more premium brands to get the highest quality possible for vlogging. And if I'm entirely honest, I'm still not impressed with the solution I'm using. Even after spending days looking, I do, however, believe this is as good as I can get at the moment with the given products on the market. Let's start with Bluetooth units. You've got Sena and you've got Cardo. Now they're the two big boys in the game, and they're where you're going to get your best quality from. Now if you want the best Bluetooth system with the best noise cancelling, go and get yourself a Cardo PackTalk Bold or the Cardo PackTalk Bold Slim version. However, if you want to record the audio from your microphone and also the people you're talking to, totally forget Cardo, because the only way you're going to get around that with them guys is if you have a second unit in your pocket recording the audio. My biggest gripe so far with all of these Bluetooth systems is they just don't have an audio output. Like, it would fix all the issues that I could possibly come up with in this video if they just had an audio out and it would just go straight into your camera, straight into a jack port, and then we could all record our videos and everyone would be happy. So essentially, if you want a Bluetooth system that's amazing and you don't care about recording, Cardo PackTalk Bold, that's the one to go and get. I'll link in the description a guy who covers both the Sena 30K and the Cardo PackTalk Bold. The guy doesn't actually say a word, and from that video you will see straight out the park that the Cardo is by far the superior model. However, my requirements were to record my audio and the people I'm talking to. Most people just want to record their own, but hopefully I'll be doing some dual vlogs with people around the country when I get flying, and I want to be able to record what they say as well. I want the conversation to be back and forward because it's going to be more engaging for you guys. So that's why I decided to go with Sena, because I'd be able to split their Sidetone cable and record my microphone and whatever I was hearing through my speakers. So quite simply, the only way that Sena did stamp out Cardo was because they have Sidetone. Okay, so what Sena model did I go for? So after days of research and asking questions to the manufacturer and the forums, I decided on the 30K. And that was the one I was going to definitely go for. It had all the mesh intercom, it was the top of the range model, I wouldn't have to upgrade it. And then it came to D-Day and I bought an SMH-10R. So why the hell did I do that? Because it was cheaper, slimmer, and it did everything I needed it to do, but the 30K was probably just a little bit more flashy. But really, all it had was a bit of a longer range and mesh intercom. So one of the answers I got from the guys at Sena is that they're bringing out a mesh add-on for the 10R. So I don't even need the 30K, I could literally just buy the add-on bit when that comes out if I want to have mesh communication. Which, if I'm not flying a lot with people, it's not so much of an issue. If I'm doing a dual vlog, we'll probably be in a phone call because it's probably more reliable than the Bluetooth range on any Bluetooth headset you can get at the moment. And also, if I wanted to upgrade units, they're bringing out a 30K Slim anyway, so that would be the unit I'd go for if I was upgrading. So to conclude the Bluetooth unit section, if you want a unit that's absolutely brilliant at Bluetooth, then go and buy yourself a Cardo PackTalk Bold or the slim version of it. But if you want to start recording your audio and doing vlogs, then I'd highly recommend going for the SMH-10R. However, remember what I said at the start, I'm not 100% happy with the setup I've got at the moment. I just feel like it's probably the best thing I can get with the current market. Okay, so let's talk about action cameras. This is a very touchy subject for a lot of people. Some people are very brand loyal. I personally will go for the best tool for the job. With that being said, I really don't think we've got that once again in this area. So considering I've gone with the Sena Bluetooth unit, why not give Sena the chance to show me what their action cameras can do? Because the integration is probably quite easy, right? So they've got the 10C or they've got the Prism. Go on then, try attach one of those to your Paramotor helmet. I'll wait. Honestly, they're built for motorbike helmets. I really think you'd struggle to mount one of those in a really nice fashion to your Paramotor helmet and get a good angle. So that's kind of Sena out the running straight away. Next up, we've got the GoPro Hero 7. Now GoPro have earned themselves the action camera king name. If you talk about an action camera, chances are you'll probably just call it a GoPro because they've been around the longest and that's the brand that people know. However, there is some other people on the scene now and they're wanting to take that title. So the GoPro has a pretty impressive Hypersmooth which came out this year. However, GoPro has had some shortcomings as of recent. There's been massive reports of people losing hours worth of data on a card. Imagine going out to fly, you've done a really cool vlog, you've seen some really cool stuff, you've come back and your card's corrupted. And these are cards that people are using which GoPro suggest. GoPro suggest using these cards and they're failing. And in response to that, GoPro started releasing the Hero 7 with a free SD card. They started doing a deal where if you bought a 7, you get a free SD card with it. And you'd hope that that one would work. Now luckily, I don't have a Hero 7, so I haven't had this issue. On top of that, they're now giving £100 off of a new GoPro 7. Now that's probably because of the new Osmo Action that's come out, which I will get to later in this video, but I think they're shaking in their boots. Either that, or they're trying to sell off old stock because they're going to try and release the Hero 8. Who knows, we will see. And because we're talking about capturing audio, don't forget that you're going to need to buy a really expensive adapter from GoPro that has a little magic box inside which does something to the signal which will go into a USB-C into the side of the camera. GoPro do not have a jack port anymore, and long gone are the days of the backpack that Sena used to provide for the Hero 4s. Next up we have the Sony X3000. Now this is the camera I personally own. I bought it for its optical stabilization before any of this Hypersmooth stuff was out. I've had it for a couple of years now, and once again, I still don't think it's the best thing we can possibly have from these companies, but here goes. The Sony is absolutely horrible to mount. It's probably the worst action camera to mount. Instead of being like the GoPro form factor, the Sony is more of a barrel design. However, it is just as square as the GoPros, but the lens is on the thinner end rather than on the wider face. The Sony does have a few benefits though. It does have optical stabilization, which has been killing it for like the last 3 years. It's literally been the best stabilized camera up until just recently, where you've had the Hypersmooth and now Rocksteady from the Osmo. So for them to achieve that, you know, several years ago, that's pretty big. And who knows what Sony might bring out to have as an answer for these other action cameras that are now coming out. It does also have a lovely 3.5mm jack, which no other camera has at the minute, although the input is so goddamn hot you can't use it anyway. So it just, my mind boggles why they wouldn't have a setting in the camera just to turn down the level of your input microphone. Why can't they do that? You can get around it by having a volume adjuster cable in line with your microphone, but it's just another cable to hide in your helmet. And the fourth option I'm about to talk about is brand new on the market. A lot of you have probably seen all the hype going around about them, and this is the Osmo Action. This is DJI's answer to the GoPro and what people are calling the GoPro killer. However, I'm going to explain why I feel that that probably isn't the case at this current point in time. So, the Osmo Action, how's it different? So it's got a selfie screen, which is pretty damn cool. If you land out, you could probably capture some ground shots, you know, you'll be able to frame yourself, you can see your face. However, you can't use that front-facing screen as well as the screen on the back. So if you want to quickly flip your camera around, you have to wait for it to flip round by pressing the button for about 3 seconds, or you can double tap the back screen for it to flip round. So it's not really that intuitive, it's quite sluggish still in that sense. Just like the GoPro, you will also need to buy a microphone adapter because it's got a USB-C. Aftermarket stuff doesn't work. It's another little magic box that these companies have just been providing so you can plug in a 3.5 jack. Why can't we have that back? Come on companies, let's have the jack port back. Like, it's just, find a way of waterproofing it and people will love you for it. Until we've got every camera and microphone with a USB-C connection, it's just going to be a pain in the butt. Also, if you own a DJI Pocket, they have the same adapter. However, they don't cross products. Literally, it's the same form factor, but they don't work with both devices. You have to buy a separate one for each one. What's different? Literally, what's different? It's still a USB-C. It's still 3.5mm jack going into it. What is different about those two cameras? It baffles me. It literally baffles me. It doesn't look as if that adapter though has like a cord that comes off it so you could tuck it away. It looks like it's like a solid adapter that comes straight out the side of these cameras. So that might be quite a pain in the butt if you're trying to mount that on your helmet and make it quite neat and not have any snag points. It is worth knowing it's a little bit of a cheaper adapter than the GoPros, but marginally. Still expensive, still ridiculous price. And then you've got DJI's rock steady stabilization, which is pretty impressive. I've got to say, it works on all the axis where GoPro's hyper smooth kind of falls a little bit. So yeah, it's a better stabilization. You do get a little bit more crop than the GoPro. So the GoPro is a little bit wider. However, DJI has like a D-warp and stuff like that, so you get a bit more of a, I'm going to say a little bit more of like a professional image rather than like a more of an action cam image. So it's pros and cons of both. They're really marginal differences. So then, action cameras conclusion. Now, the new DJI Osmo Action does seem to outperform in certain situations, but it's really not a massive leap forward in technology. It's more of a progressive sidestep. So in terms of choosing your action camera, pick your poison and go with that. We still haven't got the best possible action camera out there yet. So here we go then, my setup. I've got a Sena SMH-10R for my Bluetooth headset unit. I've got a Sony X3000 because I previously owned this camera. It wasn't the decision that I went out and chose out of the 4 options that I've given you guys. And I've also got an iPhone as well. So let me explain how my setup works. You've got your helmet. You've got your standard 3M Peltor ear cups to reduce the noise. Then you've got your Bluetooth headset glued to the side of your helmet. From that Bluetooth headset, you have a speaker wire which goes into an adapter. So that adapter basically takes the stock speakers from your Sena and turns them into a jack port. So you can use like in-ear headphones or actual headphones. As you've seen in the video, I have used a cheap set of Sony headphones, and I've just taken the speakers out and I've just plugged straight into that. From that adapter I have a Y splitter, so one goes to those headphones and the other goes to my action camera. I'm recording the audio into that, even though I've said it's too hot for use. It's just so I can sync up all of the footage and recordings and stuff. Also from that Bluetooth headset unit, you've got the microphone connection in there, and that plays through to that Bluetooth unit. You've probably seen other people splicing into their microphones and stuff. However, I didn't just want to record my own voice, I wanted to record the people I'm talking to as well, so I decided to record through the use of Sidetone. Now, on purchase of the SMH-10R, I realised that you don't always have Sidetone on. You have to be in like an intercom situation, or the way around it I found is by going into voice recorder on my iPhone, and I'm sure there's an app on Android as well to record your voice, and basically once you start recording it opens up the channel and you can hear yourself, and that's how I'm recording my audio. However, like I said at the start, I'm not particularly happy with the setup that I've got running, so that's why I wanted to make this video and share with you guys to help you make that informed decision. The reason I'm not happy with how my setup is at the moment, however I feel like it's probably the best I can currently get, is because the audio is quite robotic. Once it goes through that Bluetooth system, you literally sound like a robot. You haven't got clean, crisp audio like I love recording in my ParaFixIt videos. It's just very robotic. Maybe once I'm up in the air and you've got the noise of the motor and stuff, it'll be less obvious. We'll have to see once I start doing that. Another reason is because I have to record my audio through my phone, and it has to be through Sidetone now as well, because I don't want to go and splice that microphone about, and I want to record my conversations with other people that I have. Now the problem with that is if I get an incoming call and I answer it, my phone stops recording. So I'll have to keep an eye on that, or reject all calls, and I'll have to make sure my phone's charged. If it isn't, I'm going to have to deal with the X3000's really hot audio and try and tone that down a bit. And in all honesty, it's just another thing to go wrong in the vlog. Because I'm recording through the Sena Sidetone, that means I've got half a second delay on whatever I'm saying. That makes it very difficult, and I mean very difficult, to concentrate on what you're saying, because you've got yourself repeating in your head as you're saying it. Likewise with the robotic audio, I'm going to have to see whether that improves once I'm up in the air. Hopefully it will be less obvious once I'm up flying. And as I've said earlier, the Sony is horrible to mount and the audio input is just really hot. I haven't got the volume adjuster for the microphone yet, so maybe I will try that in the future. But regardless of that, I'm still going to have to open up the intercom via my phone or another method which I haven't got to yet, to be able to record any audio whatsoever. Hopefully this rant has cleared a few things up for you guys. If you've got any questions, leave them down in the comments and I'll be happy to answer. I probably know far too much about these Bluetooth units and action cameras by now, so if I can help with anything, I will, and I'll leave you with a sample of audio from my helmet.
So there we go, guys. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about the predicament we're in with all these action cameras, the Bluetooth systems, and if you've got a better way of recording audio when you're doing your Paramotor vlogs as well. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you've loved it, subscribe. And as always, I'll see you up in the air.